Tactical error. Consolidated all marbles here in Treehouse to prevent attic key from falling into wrong hands. Over. Additionally, forgot about doing that. Over. No cause for concern putting top agent on it. Over. Wait, who? Did you get in touch with one of your friends? Or. Oh god. You mean one of your pigeons, don't you? Over and out. Well, first, clearly there's some other stuff to investigate here. There's a lot to investigate here. There she blows. Okay. There she blows. No, that was terrible. Bale was better. Still, though. Bale! Excuse me. It's a bit of a Elden Ring joke. Harley Manor. Well, maybe only half Harley Manor, since Joey disowned the name in favor of your mother's. Thankfully, this angle shields you from the hateful gaze of Joey's Bubsy poster. Look at these monsters. No eyes, no weapons, only the most rudimentary of squad-based tactical maneuvers. This is a diversionary feint by an expendable vanguard if you've ever seen one. The puppy castle seems fortified for the moment. You and that pup spent some time adding extra defensing implements this summer. They're holding up quite nicely. Nothing about the horse statue? I don't get to click on this glorious horse statue? Let me click on the horse statue. I want to learn about the horse statue. Okay. I recognize the deer. There's the globe. So red... Do I have to remember if red is on the right? I probably don't. You've already committed this crucial intelligence to memory, but a truly great field commander keeps even better records. Oh! Yellow! Hi, Omster. Omster? Omster. A standard camping lantern. Your uses of it are hardly standard, he thinks. More like outstandard, i.e. great. Yeah, I noticed. Baka. I like this one. I liked the other one too, but I also like this one. Okay. You dropped your favorite pair of binoculars when you were, retreating from the big serpent. Mean! So mean to Jude. And here he is, playing Mist. I'm sorry, Haze. The, copyright-safe version of Mist. These are actually your secondary auxiliary binoculars. Your Onox, for sure. For short. Did I shorten short? Oh my god. Oh my god, he has a tactical beanbag. Okay, fair. He. Look at this nerd. Only a few of these are actually liquids, and unfortunately, these are also the ones whose contents you don't precisely, exactly 100% remember with total certainty. You're not saying some of them are urine, but you're not saying none of them are urine. Ah, it seems like you're in trouble. President Clinton gives birth to Bigfoot. I have to check this out. Bat boy spotted at bar mitzvah. Okay. Whoa. First of all, this looks like a diagram of a monitor. That's also a pocket watch. It's both. Okay, so this layer's the lock. This layer is the shield. This layer is the mechanism, and this layer is the portal. So this is where the power is going. And there's these two on either end. Oh no, that's the assemblage above. Okay, I see. This thing. Talk about an enigma. One day you'll figure out what it does and why certain shady characters want to get their hands on it so badly. You have some theories, of course. Oh, that's such a coincidence. I'm already pregnant with Batboy. Your copious notes on some disreputable activities carried out by members of what you can only describe as some sort of cult. You've been surreptitiously gathering evidence on them for... surreptitiously gathering intelligence on them for a good while. You've detailed some of the stuff on your sites, but the really juicy stuff has to stay off the grid, a term you have just coined yourself just now. Strange figures spotted throughout parade footage. Cultist sighting. Cover-up. Is that... okay? Yeah. Looks like the forest. Through bars? And chains? That's weird. Okay, we have to be careful. 10? 10 cultists? 714. What is that? Not 322? 122. Probably. God, this handwriting's ridiculously hard to read. But 11. 8, 19, 11. Huh. I wonder if that's going to come up later. I'm just trying to get all this on footage because, like, part 3 probably is going to start including some of this stuff. And I'm calling that shot. What's in there? So, is Jude looking out at Haunt Switch? Yeah. See? That's the same image. Oh my god. They're bouncing. They're bouncing! The mansion looms in the distance. You have a feeling that probing its mysteries will have to fall to on your squared shoulders. That'll have to wait, though. You've got a job to do. Oh no, oh no. There they are. You've never seen this many of them together. Did they have something to do with this? That's 5 of them together out of, like, 10, apparently. And that kind of looks like the Sufferer, that outline. That outline almost looks deliberately like the Sufferer. What are you saying? They had everything to do with this. Cultists, cryptids, conspiracies. It all adds up. It all finally added up, for real. Okay, so I'm gonna say some wild shit here. I'm gonna say that is the Sufferer and his disciples. Or someone who's cosplaying as them. but it's possible that that's Curlo's. Like, it's extremely possible that that's Curlo's. No, it can't be. Because the portal activates only once. Okay, but these people got swapped here. They got swapped here. They're trolls, I think. At least some of them. That dude's got horns. That dude really looks like he's got horns. I don't know. Oh, there's more of this. Found near Hill, 1945. Burning evidence. 12 Congress members suspected of cult activity, unnatural fog. The serpents. How far can this go before someone finds the truth? The Jersey Devil? Oh, come on. Your careful records of the activity of the mysterious figures you often see prowling around in the woods. Joey didn't buy it, but the sudden influx of monsters may have changed your stance. Okay, November 11th. When did this start? Is this just That's a little freaky. That is a little freaky. Okay. When the heat is on from the government and you need to send an encrypted message while staying off the grid, you entrust it to one of your trained carrier pigeons, the lone gunbirds. You survey the troops. There's Langley, Byers, and of course, Frohike. He's your favorite. Dear, sweet Frohike, how you adore him. You cherish the wind he flaps. Hopefully nothing bad'll happen to Frohike. Look. Your tactical escape hatch allows ingress and egress from your amazing treehouse. Look, if it were just your can on the line, you'd be out that hatch, down the ladder, and blasting monsters in seconds. But Joey's counting on you, and you've got to get her to a more defensible position before you can even consider heroically abandoning your own. Yeah, Hiveswap. Check it out. I'm Jude now. The perfect place to store your flares. Some of them. It's also where you keep your beeper, but you don't really want to get into that right now. Beeper's gonna be important later, is it? Is that Santa? Is Santa the ace of spades? Is Santa Jack? Food for thought. Look at that nice empty pouch. You sure could put some stuff in that pouch. You put a red marble in the pouch. You put a green marble in the pouch. You do a quick visual inspection and confirm that the pouch contains 1 green marble and 1 red marble, just like the Santa Claus. You take the pouch with red and green marbles. If you didn't have your marbles, you could, in a pinch, chisel out some crystal. Wait, this backup plan is terrible. It's like you've lost your marbles already! Unfortunately, fortunately, you haven't, since tactically sound contingencies seem to be thin on the ground this evening. You keep smashing geodes in case they're secretly alien eggs. And if one is, well, you'll already have the hammer in your hand, won't you? Might be time to scan the airwaves again. See if you can pick up any chatter from the enemy. You turn on the radio. That's the same frequency from inside the kitchen. Are they using that to communicate? You've heard enough of that weird signal for now. Forever, really. Yeah, that is weird. If only your tireless monitoring of the local frequencies had given you more advance notice. You could have even put these directly in Joey's hand, no problem. Or even just gotten the key for her yourself. Nothing there, nothing there. You think you'll stick with the pouch? A jar would be pretty heavy for the pigeons to carry, even one so expertly trained as yours. You'd have an easier time loading the thing if you picked it up, and also if you weren't trying to load it with glass pellets that you actually need for another purpose. Throw them? At this angle? From this distance? At this altitude? No. You can't be a frontline general. You're already safe as long as you don't agitate these monsters by hucking bags of marbles at them. And as long as you don't agitate these monsters by hucking bags of marbles at them, you're likely to stay that way. Localized entirely to your kitchen? But Joey's still a sitting duck among wolves in sheep's clothing. She needs these marbles, bad. Foreshadowing is a comedic device used to reference The Simpsons, strategically, but also ironically. That's the idea, but just chucking the bag from here could. You're not saying would, but could. You're a tactician and you must consider all options no matter how remote. It could result in the bag not quite making it the entire distance to the house. Better enlist one of the lone gunbirds. You still think pigeon delivery is a way to go. But you're keeping her in mind as backup. A good spy master always has redundant agents, just in case. The marbles are rendered safely inert by the pouch. There is no need to store them in your fire. Safely inert? What? Jude, these aren't radioactive. What? There's no need to store them in your fireproof metal chest. Jude, what are you talking about? Revealing the existence of your secret escape hatch to dump the crucial marbles limply at the foot of the tree is not the worst plan you've ever had, but only because you once had a dream about setting your treehouse on fire so you could climb down it faster. Sometimes you look at the marbles through your binoculars, like a jeweler using a loupe to size up a nice gemstone. The marbles, the cat's head, the globe, the deer. It's obvious. Child's play. Joey should have no trouble with it, except for the fact that she doesn't have any marbles. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. Let's keep doing this in as wrong an order as we can. You retrieve the cache of flares you were keeping in your metal chest. Combined with your flare gun, they're a tactical treasure. Wait, the marbles are red and green, just like your two lanterns. This is all adding up. This is... Wait, no. You got lanterns that were red and green on purpose to match the marble colors. Wow. You nearly did some conspiracy on your own actions because you didn't remember them right away. You might need to dial it back a little. Yeah, red and green, huh? I wonder if that's going to be a theme this episode. This lantern runs on oil, not flares. That would be a pretty unorthodox lantern. You briefly chuckle at the unorthodoxy. Are you crazy? Signaling your location to the monsters who seem not to have noticed that you're up here would be just an incredible tactical blunder. You're blundering just thinking about it. Now, where'd Joey go? Maybe you should flash your lantern at her some more. Joey should be managing just fine with her flashlight. Between that and her dancing skills, she's either a double or a triple threat, depending on whether you classify different schools of dancing as multiple, distinct threats. You've thought a lot about it, and you're just going to have to think a lot about some more. If you need to signal Joey, you'll just use your lantern, or your walkie-talkie, or the actual flare gun, or theoretically, you could just yell real loud. House isn't that far away. No need. You've already got a secret cache of backup flares stashed away in there. This ain't your first rodeo. Dropping lit flares down the hatch sounds like a good way to set the tree on fire, which would be a good defensive maneuver if your treehouse weren't attached to it. You'll have an easier time loading it once you actually pick it up. This security system. Wow. It's so perfect, really. Simple, yet elegant. You're thinking maybe your flare storage puzzle of a broken padlock could use a little upgrade. Whatever congruence of the binoculars and the flares you had in mind is probably very bad for your eyes. No, it's absolutely crucial that you not give away your position while Joey is still in danger. You need to help her. Also, that would be kind of an unsatisfying way to give away your position. At least shoot them with the flare gun. Go for it. Cultists. You clutch the pouch in your fist, trembling with rage, and awful. It makes that awful sound marbles make when they rub together. It's the worst. You need to stop clutching. You stop clutching immediately. You should get these to Joey. Wrong mansion, Jude, old boy. Joey's at your house, which is more of a manner, really. Give the bag to the pigeon. He'll know what to do. As long as you aim him at the right house. Crepes. Wait, can I aim him at the wrong house? Can I aim the pigeons at the wrong house? We have to do this now. As you grip the signal flare, you suddenly realize that it's possible they've been watching you from their mansion all along. For who knows how long that is even? If they have so much as a telescope, they've got a direct line of sight through this window to all your research on their activity on the opposite wall. Oh, geez, your commitment to conspiracy crafting and suspicious activity monitoring may have teamed up to your override your paranoia. You may have blown it big time. Oh, wait, never mind, that's the other wall. Jude. That's not a bad idea, actually. You mean, it is. Because this radio currently only receives signals. But if you could figure out how to signal one of your pals for backup, that could really turn this situation around. You know from experience that getting in touch might not be easy, though. For now, you need to focus on helping your sister. Oh, yeah! The reflected flare light dancing in the geode makes for some really fascinating colors. But you can't risk it inside the treehouse, and it's too crowded with monsters out there to have a minerals jamboree right now. Later, though. Later for sure. Flares go two places, your fireproof flare chest or your fire-starting flare gun. No middle ground. No surrender. Better keep these close for now. The situation seems unlikely to de-escalate anytime soon. The marbles, yeah. You've already got your flares out of there. Okay. It's time. You're probably the only kid in school that owns one of these babies. What if those kids get stranded in the middle of the ocean? Then the joke's on them till they starve and die. Also, the wolf head. Ah! The chamber is empty because you observe proper flare gun safety protocols, but maybe you should load it. because you've also observed some scary frickin' stuff this evening. They'd make terrible ammo, except for maybe very long distance shots, but the best they could hope to do is agitate the enemy, distracting them at a critical moment. That's interesting. That foreshadows how Act 2 ends. That's good writing. A lit flare would scare the bejesus out of a pigeon, and you'd need a pigeon at the very peak of his courage. It'd do a lot more damage if it were loaded, friendo. But you'd better pick your moment. Now's not it. At the very beak. That idea would be such an unforgivable tactical blunder. You're frankly glad you haven't already loaded the flare gun yet, just so it's not even on the table. The idea, you mean, not the flare gun. The flare gun isn't on the table either, though. You don't even have a table up here. Just a trusty workbench. Okay, and... it's not even loaded. Not that it should be. When you're aiming it at your sister's bedroom window, of course not. Jeepers. Keep it together, Jude, old boy. It'd do a lot more damage if it were loaded, friend. Yep, okay. Whoa, geez, whoops, you accidentally aimed your trusty flare gun at the doghouse and pulled the trigger. It wasn't loaded, so no harm done, except to your previously unblemished record of perfect adherence to flare gun safety protocols. The lantern cannot be used to load the flare gun, except to offer illumination as you slowly, carefully load the flares from your metal chest into the flare gun, meticulously observing all the standard safety protocols. If you were gonna beat a fighting retreat, you'd sure as heck want to load your flare gun first. That's just lesson 1 on the first day of Tactics 101. As simple as loading a flare gun, which I still refuse to do. You don't need to use your binoculars to see that this flare gun is unloaded, because that would be an incredibly dangerous way to check the loaded-unloaded status of a firearm. These bad boys are just way too cool to smash up with the butt of your unloaded flare gun. Which is a real shame, because that would be a classic tough guy move. Might show those monsters who's in command around here. Command, huh? That's an interesting turn of phrase. If this useless thing had given you a little warning, you could at the very least have loaded your flare gun by now. You'll stick with flares for now, although if you could figure out how to weaponize Venus flytrap, you would be pretty much unstoppable. Storing your flare gun and your flares in the same place just makes you nervous, even if that place is fireproof. Pow! 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 Doom! We've been set ablaze by the tactical mastermind and legendary investigator of the paranormal and conspiratorial Jude Harley Bizarrely! If only. You can't give away your position yet. Not while Joey still needs your help. Besides, this thing still isn't even loaded. But what if it was? Breath held. Hands steady. You carefully load the flares into the flare gun. No going back now. The genie is out of the bottle. I missed the opportunity to shoot an empty flare gun at the... Oh well. I'll shoot a full one. You'd love to torch that snake pit and bask in the glow of the victorious flames, silhouetted against the roaring inferno like a demonic conductor before his infernal orchestra. But it would be inadvisable to give away your current position by engaging your enemies directly before Joey is safe. Your trigger finger itches. If they really are the ones behind all this, just look at them, cooking up their culty schemes. But there's a possibility they mistakenly think you're neutralized, and you intend to let them go right on thinking that, as long as it means you can keep helping Joey to get to safety. Once she's secure, you're gonna get your revenge, with your signature style and flair. Ooh, that sounds like foreshadowing. You already lost your primary binoculars during your strategic retreat from that encroaching serpent beast. You're not about to lose your auxiliary knocks due to a wanton disregard of flare gun safety protocols. How do you think you smashed these bad boys open in the first place? Maybe. If your righteous flames would travel backwards across the radio waves, back to their sinister source, burning them in their viper's nest, maybe then you'd shoot this at your own radio. Between the nails, the broken glass, and the chemicals of uncertain origin, that stack of jars has to be the most dangerous thing in here you could possibly shoot. This knowledge means if you decide you have to shoot anything else, it's now a moderately better decision just by contrast. If those monsters come through the front door, you'll escape down through your tactical escape hatch while blasting away at them with your flare gun. It's called a fighting retreat, and it's the least cowardly type of retreat. If you had to blast this perfectly to scale diagram to prevent it from falling into the hands of the enemy, you'd do it. You wouldn't even hesitate. You wouldn't even aim. You just point the flare gun vaguely in this direction and go bonkers. You think... Yes. You think this is the most dangerous thing you could possibly attempt. You therefore make a tactical decision not to attempt it. Okay, there's being cautious, and then there's just being silly. No. Things have taken a dark turn, but you frankly feel a little sick that you briefly felt compelled to do such a thing. You take some deep breaths and shake your head. Keep it together, Jude, old boy. Alright, fine. Let's do the blatantly correct thing. Fro hike! No! Fro hike! Fro hike! Sorry for hold up. Unbelievable tragic disaster. Over. Did you lose something else? Must soldier on, making second attempt now. Over. Alright, are you sure you're... Over? Over and out, Fro hike. Fro hike! Beautiful, sweet, precious, dear, darling, and ultimately fragile Fro hike. You were too good for this rotten, dark nightmare of a world. May the wings of chance and dream bear thee to thy rest on the white sandy shores of paradise. Fro hike. You take another pouch from the drawer and load it with another red marble and another green marble. Oh, I can't switch? I see, I can't switch yet. Alright. Second time's the charm. Come on, Langley. Don't fuck it up, Langley. I swear to God, Langley. If you abandon this one... Langley! Langley! Are you alright? Betrayal. Over. Abandonment. Over. The lowest, vilest cowardice. Over. Well, can't even communicate true degree of outrage. Over. Likely to jeopardize mission if emotion not suppressed. Over. Incoming. Over and out. Your hands are definitely not shaking as you pluck 2 more marbles from their safe, cozy compartments in the drawer and drop them into the depths of the pouch's waiting, leathery maw. Langley. Langley the coward. Langley the blackguard. Langley the unspeakable. 1,000 deaths, 1,000,000 deaths. An infinitude of deaths would not be enough. Langley worm-hearted. Langley bile-blood. Langley. You'd hate him with everything you are and everything you ever will be. Langley. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. All right, come on, buyers. Buyers, I believe in you. Not that I believed in you before. In fact, you were my last hope. But you're currently the only remaining hope. So I believe in you. You can do it, buddy. Oh, he's done it! Buyers! Buyers! Buyers for the win! Success! Jeez, I'm crow buyers, my boy, so brave, so true, so great, over. Are you actually just point blank losing your mind now? It would be maybe kind of a relief after years of build-up, but you could have picked a better night for it. Mission accomplished! Buyers, champion of champions, waiting for you in kitchen, over. Why? What? Over. Oh! Buyers has marbles required to acquire key, over. Alright, I guess that sort of makes sense. New development, buyers being menaced, please hurry, over. What? Okay, I'm on it. Hurry, please, Joey, he's all I have left, over and out. Too precious to weaponize. Distracting, delectable. Delectable, disdained. Flip the flap out. Flip skipped. Charge! Meta luck next time. No! Don't hurt him! Can you hear me? No time for this. Pardon me, boy. Can you give me a shine? Opening night. It does sound like Toby Fox, doesn't it? Hand. Thrill him with daylight. Did that work? Spice to meet you. Oh, that's loud. Wow, that was loud. I'm so sorry. I tried to turn that down. Damn. I did it! It's actually more difficult to see through the window now that it has a hole in it. Well, it's already pretty dang open due to it being broken. Yeah, it's the mummy. Joey, thank you for tactically brilliant seasonings, murder. Byers has payload. Repeat, Byers has payload. Over. Thanks. Do you know how I might get him down? He seems pretty terrified. In negative, Byers simply has unfortunate mercenary streak. Should respond to enticement. Over. How do you bribe a pigeon? Sounds like setup for riddle, or perhaps joke. Over. Bye, Jude. Over and out. Mercenary streak. No response. Either that, or he was completely enraptured by your elegance and grace. You prefer to believe the latter, but that doesn't really solve your problem. You need to tempt this little fella with something bad. Something like garbage, but food. Nothing. You guess you already saw a fair bit of your fancy footwork when you were dealing with that monster. No, he can't have it. He might fly off with it and then immediately get eaten by a monster. And then where would you be, figuratively? And then also, where would your precious heirloom be, literally? This might work. Oddly enough, you aren't sure these are safe for birds. After the violent strangled death of that monster, you're a little nervous about just feeding things to other things at random. Maybe there's something safer around here, like bread? Bread-like, at least. If pogs are what it takes to get him off the fridge, he can stay up there. There's gotta be something else around here he'd be more into. A coy wink of the setting sun off the tip of this copper-top dynamo holds no interest for your feathery quarry, nor his mysterious parcel. He hungers for something else. Maybe something from the cupboard? You're just tossing ideas around here. The pigeon just saw you kill that monster with this stuff. There's no way he'll go for it. It's a cracker! Yes! All you can raid from this meager cabinet is the stalest, tiniest, worst cracker. I'm going to save it here. Just in case. Because there might be cracker lore. I have no idea if they prepared cracker lore. For instance. That'd probably be best, wouldn't it? But if you started throwing things away just because they were garbage, why, you'd have to throw away most of the things you're carrying, really. Opening the door to throw a cracker outside would probably result in you losing that pigeon, which you're pretty sure you need. Just look at that little fellow. He'd go wild for this cracker, you can just tell. Hey, can the hint tell me? I'm afraid you've used just all the time I allotted for helping you. Just keep throwing yourself at the task at hand, and I'm sure you'll solve it eventually. Even if it is through brute force, rather than through the application of a finely tuned intellect. Such as mine. Fine then. Be a dick about it. You consider luring the monster into your kitchen using a crummy old cracker, but you can't count on the next one being so utterly vulnerable to magic spice mix. You can't count on much in this world if you're being honest with yourself. You don't want to tempt any more flying monsters to come crashing through the window. You just have to kill them with the spice mix too, and honestly, you're still wrestling with the implications of that, like, ethically. Also, it may have been a fluke. You'd rather not test it out, if you don't have to. Eating a stale cracker off a dirty dish seems like something you'd only do if you've been living alone for a while. Or if you're a pigeon. Stale cracker and the oily hardened remains of some takeout food from you don't exactly remember when? It must be your birthday. It's not, though. It's not your birthday. Nice try. It's not Joey Clare's birthday. A cracker lore declared that it's not Joey Clare's birthday. I don't know what to tell you. This is already paying dividends. Dog food and a stale cracker. It's... Wow, things got depressing pretty quick around here, huh? You guess that monster dying was kind of the canary in the mine shaft that the gritty grimness factor of your adventure was about to kick into high gear. Yeah, right? That's actually pretty notable that it doesn't happen on a birthday. Jude's pet isn't, a vegetarian. Oh, sadly, when this guy was mummified, he probably had all his digestive organs removed. He couldn't handle some warm soybeans and cold water, let alone this dry, dusty crunch square. What, like, that thing in your basement is your pet now? No thanks. You have no interest in forming an emotional connection with a weird monster who terrified you in a basement. Wait, I can interact with it? I can interact with... Oh. What? There's cracker lore only for the door? Who writes this game? Who writes this game? Cracker lore is what they should call me. No. You fax the stale cracker to a random number. Or rather, you fax a black and white image of the stale cracker to a random number. The stale cracker stays where it is, that is to say, in your possession. Boy, you're just really thrilled about all this. Stale crackers don't need to be refrigerated. It's too late for them. Freshness retreats infinitely. Always already lost. Put it in the microwave, Joey. Just put it in the microwave, it's fine. When you try to leave, you hear a soft, sad... No! No! Oh my god, this game! You can't do this to me, game! How dare you? How dare you? Keeping me from my cracker lore with pigeon guilt tripping. When you try to leave, you hear a soft, sad from the pigeon on top of the fridge. Surely you're not going to abandon him. What if that monster wakes back up? Besides, doesn't he have something you need? Alright, well, the spice mix would probably make it taste better, but you're still not going to eat it. Heck, the spice mix would probably make cardboard taste better, but you're not going to eat that either. That silly pigeon would probably prefer this cracker without a copper topper. Hey! More stale garbage! Today's really looking up for you. What's that the kids say? Tubular? This is just tubular. You combine the stale cracker and pet treats into a sadness bruschetta. Wow. Yeah, it's all about the tubes. Things have gotten pretty bleak around here, huh? Maybe not that bleak, though. You separate the sadness bruschetta into its original ingredients. I have heard of a worse sadness bruschetta, where you take these crackers and you layer them with mustard and ketchup samples from a fast food place. Both have ridges? That's about all you've got right now. The agitated bird and recently asphyxiated monster are kind of hard to get out of your head. You could stomp all over this cracker, or, you know, offer it to that hungry-looking cutie on the fridge. It's up to you, really. If you're looking for a partner, you could probably do a lot worse than that little doofus on the fridge. He seems particularly interested in that stale cracker you picked up for some reason. This stale cracker was sitting in the back of the cabinet for so long that taking it feels like robbing a museum. Still, someone might like it. It's time. Success! This little fellow, Byers, you think? Yes, you're pretty sure this is Byers. Gobbles down the stale cracker, and you tuck him into your pocket. I have a bird in my pocket. I have a pocket bird. He's got a little parcel around his neck, which you're fine with letting him hold on to until you actually figure out what you're supposed to do with it. Also, that would take up too many inventory spaces. Okay, got the marbles. Do you want me to send the pigeon back? No. Over. No, over. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to shout. Just worried. Please protect Byers. His chances of surviving return trip very remote, over. Okay, yeah, good point. Seems pretty dicey out there. Affirmative, over. I'll just use these marbles or whatever then. I'll let you know how it goes. Affirmative. Good luck, sis. Over and out. This is Byers. Apparently. He has a little satchel around his neck. Jude says there's some marbles in there, so you guess those will come in handy somehow. Until such a situation presents itself, you're content to let Byers handle marbles duty. Byers gives you a little wink, as if to say, one day, sure. When you're ready. Can I ballet with Byers? Wow, talk about fresh. That startled the bejesus out of him. Byers is a cutie, but you're not quite sure you want to entrust your shiny treasured memory of your dearly departed mother to an animal with a fascination for shiny objects and a proclivity for flying out of reach. Byers picks the treat up with his beak and, after a moment, it spits it back into your hand. Evidently, he doesn't quite care for the taste. Either that or this bird is literally too dumb to know what food is. He's probably going to try to eat them, right? That's what he'll do, because he's a simple little bird brain who... Okay, so he's wearing the pog like a little hat? Touché, Byers. It's pretty darn cute. Byers, whatever you make of these batteries, why did you pick them up? What purpose will they ultimately serve? Are you just carrying them around out of a sense of curiosity? Or is it just inertia? Why do they keep popping in your head? Oh, sorry, Byers. That got a little pointed. Wait, why do they keep pooping in your hand? God damn it, Byers. What? No! No! Byers is not a snack. Mean. Byers is absolutely a snack, aren't you, Byers? You put one of Byers' feathers gently in the fax slot and punch in a random number. Somebody out there just got a fax full of beautiful bird feather. And no one can ever say Joey Clare didn't leave her mark on the world. Sounds like a great recipe for dead pigeon. Whoa, hey! Don't insinuate that all pigeons like trash. That is definitely an overgeneralization, and he's pecking a hole in the trash and trying to eat an old eggshell. Disappointing and weird, Byers. The bird content is, like, my favorite part of this game. The fact that there's bird content now has, like, improved the game by 100%. That's for dogs, not pigeons. Also, if you shoved him through there, he'd probably get eaten by monsters, like, immediately. If you were gonna send him outside, you'd probably just use that huge hole where the window used to be. What if I did? You attempt to send Byers? Yeah, you're pretty sure this is Byers. You attempt to send Byers back to your brother, but he refuses to leave your hand. Maybe he had a rough trip or something. And that's fine, you'll hold on to him for a little while longer. Only a little while, though. That's a little too domestic, honestly. Let's try to keep this professional. It's not like he's your boyfriend or anything. God. Too small for a cage, too empty for a meal, too greasy for a bird you plan on putting back in your pocket. No. No matter how hungry your pets get, you would never feed them to each other. Wow. Jeez, Joey. You better keep Byers away from that tube. There's a reason Jude keeps the pigeon safe in his treehouse, far away from his pet. You can just tell Byers wants to make an absolute ruin of that hat. Although he would look just as cute as a button doing so. You can't you can't condone it. Alright. Byers, help me sweep the rest of the house, because this is about to get really hairy. Byers doesn't need to know about your paw's sexy lamp. Let him stay innocent, if only for a little while longer. Look at this big old pile of nesting materials. Byers looks eager as can be to shred these and start pooping and egging all over them. Hey, what's he doing? Byers plays piano? What? Well, I guess the little doofus has some hidden depths. Oh my god, that was beautiful. Byers! Byers! What was that? My god, Byers. He plops down onto the beanbag chair, but he isn't weigh enough to displace the beans and sink down into it. He just rests jauntily on top of the bean mess. You retrieve him and soldier on in your adventure, spirits slightly elevated. The pigeon lore is so good! How is it this good? He seems to enjoy pecking the buttons. Perhaps doing this takes him back to his instinctive provenance for hunting for earthworms, poking their tiny heads through the damp, dewy soil on a brisk April morning. Or maybe he'll just peck at any old thing you put in front of him. He's either using his powerful avian instincts to instantly ascertain that this bear is not, in fact, alive, or he literally didn't notice it. It's hard to say. Byers appears somewhat intimidated by the extremely dead taxidermy animal before you. From your perspective, their heads seem equally hollow. You don't feel great about the idea of sending this feathery little goofster into all the bad business humping around out there. It was pretty cold of Jude to send him into that, now that you think about it. Thank goodness no one was hurt. If what they say about Yeah, Toby's got a poster later in this game, I think, actually. I'll point it out. Toby and James Roach. It's written in Alternian. If what they say about monkeys and typewriters is true, you surmise that Byers could eventually awaken the Windfish, given an infinite amount of time in AA batteries, of course. Byers might enjoy a little light music if the batteries in your cassette player weren't dead, and if pressing a little music piping headphone up to his absent ears wouldn't be more likely to scare the living daylights out of him. Love that. Byers is entranced by his soft reflection in the turned-off TV screen. It's pretty adorable, you suppose. Oh no. Byers cannot read. He has but a tiny brain, tuned to worm stuffs and, occasionally, the attentive maintenance of his greasy pinions. But what does Byers think about this? Byers is surprisingly unperturbed by your attempt to feed him to a stone snake. He gives you a look as if to say, "Who do you think you're fooling with this sad little performance? Don't you have something more important to be doing?" Did Byers just feed me an Azrael line? Don't you have something more important to do? This pigeon lore has no end to it. You don't want Byers anywhere near the door to Jude's room. The smell of his tender bird flesh could agitate the appetite of... Jude's pet. Byers would probably try to eat the little light bright pegs, and maybe choke, like that monster in the kitchen. That would be just awful if something happened to someone sweet like Byers instead of something horrible like that monster. You're pretty sure he prefers the chicken coops your brother has in his treehouse? You can just imagine the havoc he'd wreak with the tassely, fringy lampshade. Why, he could very well choke on it. The very notion sends shivers down your spine, and his since you're holding him tight. You cannot, in good conscience, proceed with this pigeon lamp endeavor you've cooked up. You don't know. Taking care of the helpless pigeon is a lot of responsibility. You think the statue might be a little distracted by permanently staring off into the middle distance, as if to say, "Get out of this righteous bod, middle distance." Byers, no. Keep away from that thing. Byers doesn't use guns. You're gonna keep this little guy away from your mother's jewelry box, both for sentimental reasons and for bird safety reasons. Which are, you suppose, sentimental in their own way. It does sort of resemble a cage, especially once we put buyers inside of it. He flutters out immediately, feathers in a ruffle, and it returns to resembling a cage slightly less. It certainly does look like a little nest. Maybe he'd be safer if you left him here. No. He's your responsibility now until you can get him back to Jude safely, which doesn't look to be anytime soon. The pigeon is interested in the caterpillar, as one might reasonably expect. Actually, the caterpillar's wobbly form causes you to suddenly question what the heck is going on with those wobbly doodads hanging off the pigeon's beak. You are nearly 100% sure that pigeons should not have those. A gobble? They might have gobbles, who knows? Or, what's it? That's not the one. Not a gobble, the word is escaping me now. I'll remember it. The pigeon gives the slinky a sly and knowing look before immediately becoming tangled in the slinky. You help him out. Unbelievably, the slinky remains in the same position as before. It is the crummiest miracle anyone has ever seen. You hold his tiny eye up to the keyhole. He seems utterly intrigued by whatever that thing is in there. You're pretty charmed by his tiny inquisitiveness. The animals in these posters look so beautiful and playful and intelligent. The animals you've encountered in real life, such as the feathery little poop machine in your hand, are also all of those things. But they definitely poop a lot more. Do you mark the passing of the days and the years, little pigeon? Is there a part of your tiny bird brain that knows the pitch and yaw of the tilting earth to be a march toward the setting of your own sun? Or does your powerful bird soul soar above, unburdened by such fears? Byers would make an excellent wizard familiar, but no, you're not sharing. You'd like to bake him a little treat, but you're all out of the cooking stuff. You refuse to even entertain the idea that you might have any other intentions in trying to use Byers with this tiny oven. No, there's no other way to use the tiny oven with Byers, except making him treats. Byers tucks his head into his wing, peeking out between his feathers at the ballerina statue. Is he shy? Oh, Byers, be more confident. You're a very charming little idiot. Byers can't read, but he would probably like to shred some of that paper for some nice soft nest bedding. Or actually, maybe you're thinking of rats? Byers is kind of like a rat who can fly, though. Sorry, Byers. No room at the inn. You think he'd prefer to bed down in some nice straw, and you think you'd prefer not to have your bed covered in pigeon crap. Heh, he probably thinks the ceiling is actually the sky. Or maybe he doesn't, because he lacks the capacity to understand simplified symbolic representations? Is he too dumb to be tricked? Wow. The stars aren't your pets. The stars aren't anyone's pets. The stars have their own agenda. You and your mom. She painted this mural, and you've always felt like she was kind of watching over you while you sleep. You feel the same way when you dance. It's dumb, you guess, but you don't care. No way, you don't want to disturb one beautiful millimeter of the amazing mural your mom painted. You feel a little sick even comparing the ceiling mural your mom painted with these garish garbage tokens. The glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling don't need batteries. They store by the power of they glow by this power of stored light, which is okay, not a concept you're 100% clear on, but that's fine. They do their thing. You don't have to know how. You don't need to understand phosphorescence or relaxation mechanics. It's okay, Joey. You can learn about thermodynamics later. Glitter might be a better option. If your ceiling mural weren't already perfect, that is. Look, hopefully you're gonna survive this thing, whatever this is that's happening, and when you do, you'd rather not celebrate your victory wearing clothes covered in pigeon crap. You examine Byers. Against all odds, this pigeon is in excellent health. You would like to give him a lollipop for being such a good patient, but that might kill him. Primum non ser, Joey. You give him a little pat on the head instead. A lollipop. Clarissa doesn't have a pigeon. Clarissa doesn't have a pigeon, but she does have a pet baby alligator. It's a little irresponsible, frankly, as baby alligators have a bad habit of becoming non-baby alligators. Just like my pet baby snapping turtle, who I eventually had to release because he became less of a baby, but still a very much a snapping turtle. You think he'd prefer to bed down in some nice straw, and you think you'd prefer not to have your bed covered in pigeon crap. You've read that pigeons like to collect little shiny objects and stash them away for later perusal. They also frequently lose the objects. You decide to stop drawing behavioral connections between the pigeon and yourself. Your secrets are safe in the loving belly of a dog. Did you have a mom, Byers? It suddenly occurs to you that you don't actually know where your brother got his pigeons. He just started mentioning his bird agents one day. You assumed it was more code, but then... pigeons. His simple avian brain couldn't handle the blistering speed of your 4 whole megabytes of RAM. It'd be an insult to your computer, frankly, like a jester capering before God. And speaking of, the man-throw chap is already dancing back and forth across the line between animal and man. You're not sure you want to throw a weird bird into that mix. Ah, he looks like quite the dapper little fellow, perched like a king on his throne of decades-old beads in a ratty vinyl sack. Let's see what Byers thinks of Bubsy. We'll get there in a moment, but first, you move Byers toward the window and, oh wow, he is having none of that. Probably because he had to weave and dodge past a bunch of nightmarish monsters to get inside in the first place. You forgive Byers' minor cowardice, since, hey, you don't want to go outside either. Wasn't the bounty hunter raised by birds or bird people or something? The Chozo. They were raised by the Chozo. The Chozo are awesome. Birds are awesome. Birds are the best. You're a little jealous. I just realized that the morph ball is literally just egg tech. That just occurred to me that's why the Chozo would invent. They invented the technology to become a self mobilizing egg. That's what the morph ball is the morph egg. It's the morph egg mode. I'm never gonna forget this. This is the greatest. You're a little jealous, but maybe being raised by animals brings its own set of difficulties? Yeah, right. As if being raised by animals was any more difficult than being raised by parents. You wish. Byers seems suitably enraptured by Miss Rogers. As well he should be. Byers' staggering visual acuity would put him at a distinct advantage, an advantage utterly undercut by his dust mote intellect. This pigeon is kind of a silly companion, but at least it doesn't have any catchphrases, or a t-shirt with an exclamation point on it, so you know he's exciting, or a really, really, really punchable face. Second Mom is very offbeat and whimsical, you are given to understand, but even it has probably too much dignity to feature a pigeon character. Instead, it features a bee character, which is much more dignified. Byers looks crushed. No way! You are fairly certain that no video game will ever feature a pigeon. Especially not Hatoful Boyfriend. Because pigeons are ridiculous and video games are extremely serious business, and Hatoful Boyfriend is both a serious game and a silly game. Definitely don't check. Actually do check. It's a good game. Maybe sometime you could put an unplugged controller in front of Byers and let him think he's playing with you. That never worked on your brother, but then again, Byers may be easier to trick than Jude. Possibly. Byers would probably not respond well to Bubsy because, well, who would? You picture him hopping all around in a little pigeon-sized tutu, and it's pretty much adorable. You wish you were a better artist so you could draw this. Maybe someday someone will? No, probably not, you guess. You let the dream die. 4 might be a little over his head. Maybe connect 1? Okay, well, he's trying to eat the checker. It's a bold gambit, but one long banned by your house rules. You win by default. You're not really that into letting Byers crap all over your diary and your picture of you and your mom and stuff. However, you think you need to spend a little more time with Byers before you're certain enough about your feelings regarding him to commit those feelings to ink in your sparkly tome of memories and dreams. She would have been sweet to Byers, you bet. You guess you could stand to be a little sweeter to him too. You'll get your best shot. For Mom. Oh, will I be nicer to Byers now? That would be nice. Byers seems curious about this picture, perhaps wondering whether you and he will ever be as close as you and your dog clearly are. Well, keep wondering, pal. You can't force that kind of thing. I'm not saying it can't happen, just, don't be pushy. Byers needs to stay away from your favorite poster. Oh, that's your favorite poster, is it? Was there a pigeon in this movie? You can't remember. You try to focus on the good parts with the big fun flying dog and never, ever think about the incredibly sad scene in the swamp. What swamp? What beautiful, tragic horse friend? We are moving on! Byers, do you have any scary stories to tell? You gaze deep into his eyes. Nothing. This bird's led a pretty charmed life as far as you can tell, with the exception of a single, admittedly harrowing experience that you just saved him from. Byers is pretty dang spooked by Acorn's shadow. He refuses to even leave your hand. Wow, that's really... Wait. Oh, okay. He was just asleep again. I got a call from health service. I might be able to get SNAP benefits. I'll have to call them back. Sad I missed the call. You don't need Princess Sheikah's advice to keep Byers in good health, nor would you be able to apply it if she gave it, since most of her advice would be along the lines of, use the perfect Zenyu spell you just learned from the Peach King. Sure thing, Sheikah. Just gonna get right on that. Alright. That's the pigeon lore. And I was going to continue Unbroken, but I am going to be taking a quick break to call this number back once I get to the room. A Lord English you've never seen before? Where? Oh, Jude's Castle? Yeah, that's... You'll see it on the way back. That's Jude's Castle. You can't interact with it. Okay. Nope. Byers is pretty impressed by the wingspan on this thing. Alright. So we're back in here. I'm gonna fully explore this room when I come back. Okay. This is exactly the kind of thing you wish wasn't in your house. Why couldn't your paw just leave their regular eyes in, and also, more importantly, leave their head attached to their body? You'd like to put something in those sockets, but what? And also, wait, why do you want to do that so much? That's weird. Looks like someone sliced this big fella's hand off. Luckily, he's a lefty, at least posthumously. It's a little out of season. You couldn't stand a chance of lifting this burnished brute. Maybe they could lift you, but between the hand on the floor and the handful of sword, you think you'll pass on this paw. This fella's already lost his right arm. You start stepping at him and he's likely to rattle to bits. Inside an empty suit of armor. Is that a good hiding place or the first place someone would look? You guess you've never looked in there, so it's not the first place. Heck, that thing could be full to the brim of secret treasures and answers to wild mysteries, and you'd have no idea. And you never will. Maybe he was offering that big kitty he had a treat, and it bit his hand off. You're just kidding around, but it makes you feel better about the beautiful, noble animal your paw shot and decapitated. Pogs, like suits of armor, are actually not all that common, despite being all their respective eras will probably be remembered for. You can just see it now. You are living in the Pog epoch. The idea of a battery-powered suit of armor fills your mind with visions of big armored machine knights, loyal only to their queen, knowing no fear, utterly unstoppable. They aren't especially pleasant visions, so you stop envisioning them. You give the maimed knight a sprinkle of dust right in the missing vambrace. Time heals all wounds, after all. You consider stuffing buyers in the handhole, but that'd be cruel. You unconsider it at breakneck speed. This is a katana. You have no idea what to do with one. Wait, maybe you will just throw it away. Ballet is the most elegant and demanding type of dance. Maybe katanas are the same, but for swords? Look, you're gonna lay it all on the line. Ballet rules, and you really don't give a flying frog about katanas. You were just trying to be nice. If you were going to hold something while you tap danced, it'd be a cane! Just like the great Fred Astaire, who you know is a phenomenal tap dancer, and you literally know nothing else about him. Your mom left you this key, so it's your heirloom. Your pa probably stole this katana from someone, so somewhere out there, there's a kid going around without their heirloom. This makes you a little sad, even though you made it up. Calling a katana your pet seems like the kind of thing that boys who watch too much Japanimation would do. You let a pog fall on the upturned blade of the katana. It slices right in half, but whether this is because the katana is very sharp or the pog is very crappy, none can truly say. An electric katana would be... Okay, you have to admit that would be pretty cool. Like something a bad guy from a Japanese role-playing game would have, and it would be all tiny in his sprite's little hand until you actually got into battle, and then it would be shown to actually be 9 feet long. A weapon from the Far East, wielded while under the heady influence of exotic spices. Whoa, what? That was definitely kind of a little racist, maybe. You're pretty sorry about that. Buyer's flight straight towards the sharp end of the katana, and narrowly misses it. Phew. No. Oh well. You carefully remove the marble pouch from around his neck and, believe it or not, shove the marbles into the empty eye sockets. You discard the pouch. What an evening it's been. As you move closer to the big cat head, Buyer starts to freak out. He's wigging out all crazy, and it's all you can do to keep him in your gentle but firm clutches. Well, you're certainly complicit in this ghoulish little horror show now, aren't you, Joey Clare? Ah, yes, of course. Bird clock. The answer was staring you in the face all along. It stopped at 11:11 and has been as long as you can remember. You could fix it, but why bother? It's not like you're going to make a habit out of strolling over to the worst room in your house to check the time. That's going to be a puzzle later. You've never been entirely clear about what's going on in this tapestry, but it certainly looks intense. Just look at that fire-breathing serpent beast at the bottom. And that red-eyed figure on the throne? What's their deal? This one's wielding a scepter. Though still, the pendulum reminds you of an exercise, a grand battement en cloche. It sounds impressive, but it's mostly just kind of swinging your leg back and forth. It occurs to you that this could also describe a lot of ballet terms. You could reset the pendulum in motion with a click of your heels, but something stops you. Clockwork, once set in motion, isn't always easy to arrest. Are you sure you're ready for the consequences? Tap dancing at this poor kitty is liable to shake its head right off the wall. Maybe onto those katanas. Or maybe only one of them is a katana? Well, regardless, the juxtaposition of the swords under a decapitated animal makes for a pretty ghoulish tableau. This beautiful kitty was more graceful than you can ever hope to be. Huh. For all the good it did them. Red and green again. You hope this big kitty had treats aplenty while he could enjoy them. You sincerely do hope that. Pogs in the eyes? You'd never be so rude and cruel to such a big sweet kitty who's already suffered so much. Something definitely needs to go in those empty sockets though, because if only because you are getting creeped out. Batteries in the eye sockets, eh? Well, it's worth a try. Nope, it wasn't. It wasn't worth a try. You sprinkle a pinch of the magic spice mix onto the moldering cat head trophy. From the depths of your soul, you somehow summon the willpower to resist eating it. It's alright. There is something about this key that reminds you of clocks, or at the very least clockwork. Keys are for opening, for initiating, for unlocking, but also for locking, for finishing, for sealing. Although those uses are much less exciting, what's the point in finding a weird old key just to lock something away? You'd love to be out in the yard feeding these to your precious, wonderful dog, but this isn't the time. This thing is already full of cogs. It doesn't need any cardboard discs. It doesn't need batteries. It runs on the pendulum, you think? And those brass bars also definitely do something. And you have to open the face sometimes? You're not a big student of clockmanship, but you think this is all pretty much 100% accurate. Letting all that grit in the clockwork would be bad for it, which you don't really care about except to be a criminal waste of your delicious spice mix. Bird clock. Hey, it's Cheriel. Maybe you could incorporate this inaccurate globe into a ballet about globes? With a bunch of dancers dressed as globes doing pirouettes to simulate spinning. Yeah, that'd be really revolutionary. If you need to move this thing, just give it a spin. No rhythmic stomps necessary. Pfft, this globe obviously has nothing to do with any key-shaped objects whatsoever. What are the animals like on you, Fate Planet? Are they hungry for treats? You assume so. Animals always want treats, even fake ones, assuming, like the poor animals in this room, that they are still alive. Even fake alive. The best thing about this fake planet? No pogs. Oh, yeah, and probably no monsters either. Which used to be a thing that you could have said about the real planet that you live on. Not anymore, apparently. You're 0 for 2, real planet. It doesn't need batteries, but you get the feeling it might need something else. Or maybe you don't. It depends on how much you've heard, what you've been paying attention to, any number of things, really. You sprinkle the globe with spice. Uh-oh, inhabitants of this fake planet, how will you respond to this new shift in the global market for exotic spices? How will your now obsolete trade routes weather this prodigious miracle? And what of your spice-heavy investment portfolios? You better hope they were very flexible. You just don't think using buyers like this is the solution to whatever problem this inaccurate globe presents. He barely made it from the treehouse to the kitchen. He's not exactly a topographical savant. Okay, oh, there's something up here? This is, whatever this is, it depicts some heroes conversing with huge monsters. What if we could speak to these creatures? Do the monsters help him? Kill them? You prefer to imagine everyone gets out okay, but you know life is rarely that kind. You got nothing. You feel unqualified to comment. You got some really old ashes in here, and a couple nearly disintegrated hunks of charred wood. Not only did your pa replace this deer's eyes with creepy glass orbs, but he installed some kind of antler-activated laser system in its head. To leap as nimbly as a deer is the highest challenge of the art. An alive deer, you mean? This poor guy's seen nimbler days. Did he just jostle a bit? What's your deal, buckaroo? What does this deer know about keys? You got any key secrets, dear? Yeah, didn't think so. Aw, geez, now you feel like a jerk. Why were you so mean to him? You wish he really did have a key secret. You wish it so hard you believe it to be true. Where are you hiding the key, you smug noble jerk? Byers did a great job bringing you those marbles. He can hang out in your Silodex until the opportunity for him to be useful presents itself, or until he poops too much. Whichever comes first. Welcome back. You beckoned the deer forward with a tasty pet treat. He is incapable of resisting temptation, but he is also incapable of movement, so he stays put. Stalemate. Frozen in his posture of supreme dignity, the deer doesn't deign to notice you bugging him with garbage. This noble creature spurns your batteries. Look at that hoof, arched up all spurn-like. That's a spurnin' hoof if you've ever seen one. All the actual meat was removed from this poor fella long ago. He's just fur on a frame. Byers and the deer. It's beautiful and tragic, like something from one of your young adult novels where bunnies are vampires and mice are knights or something. Wait, is that Redwall? Does Joey read Redwall? That's kind of funny. Yeah, Mattathias, huh? No need for a big leap. It's well within reach of your bean-fingered grasp. It jostled a bit. Maybe you can just kind of reach up. Did your mom hopefully disapprove of stuff like this? Maybe that's why it's in the trophy room. It might be a nice gesture to this deer's spirit to stick a treat in there, or it might be absurd. You're not really up on your orthodox Servine burial sacraments. Like these pogs, could this antler be flipped somehow? Like how someone might flip a switch? Depending on what you may or may not already know, you frame these questions either as sincere eurekas or obsolete sarcasm at your own discretion. He's already done all the battering with those antlers that he's ever gonna do. Thinking about making some antler stew, eh? Jeez, times really have gone lean around here. Byers is not into the antler. Fair enough, but he does have something to do with the whole beam puzzle thing. This is an alebrije, and a folk art monster from Oaxaca, Mexico, carved out of the wood of the copal tree. This little thing used to creep you out really bad until your babysitter suggested you learn more about it. You found out they're based on monsters an artist saw in his dreams, and ever since then, he seemed a lot more friendly. You imagine what it'd be like if this little monster were real, dancing gracefully in the winds with his spiny little leaf wings. Then you remember that there really are monsters flying around outside, with the whole flowery descriptions of monsters thing getting a lot less appealing. He's very fragile and culturally significant. You cannot take any chances. Byers displays his own tiny wingspan to the Alebrije, who refuses to be intimidated. This weird little guy is no stranger to spicy foods given the country of his origin. You said that as plainly as you could, because saying stuff like that sometimes makes you worry you're being racist. But you're pretty sure that passed mustard. Mustard? That's silly. Authentic folk art doesn't come with battery components. At least not the authentic folk art produced in the region of this particular piece's origin. Some alebrije are made of brightly painted papier-mâché, although this one is made of wood. He's a little insulted you'd think he'd care about pogs just because they're colorful and made of paper too. You get the feeling you should maybe step off. With those big ears and those wings, this little bat fella probably prefers mosquitoes and moths to pet treats. Although, according to the disclaimer on the back, these pet treats may contain insects up to 0.1%. You don't like those odds, so no treat. He does share its red and green coloring, kinda. Well, close enough. Close enough to raise questions? Not really. Red and green. Again. This is, Horus, you think? You're not up on your Egyptology. Byers looks pleased to see a burned sword adorned so regally. Spice mix! Horus does not care. Whatever powers this idol has, they don't seem to require batteries. That's not a big pog on his head. You don't know what that is, but it's not that. He seems pretty dour. Not really treat-friendly. Nope. These seem to be from different pantheons. Horus doesn't seem like he's in the mood for tap dancing. Ah, the grace of a bird and a god. That's you. Okay, so... Yeah, see? It's kind of a nice little bit. They actually included something for that. It's like, you know, a bit of a deep cut that they just sort of left there and didn't say a fucking thing. This game is surprisingly clever. There's just not room in there for you to maneuver. You try to pile in there and you'll be picking your teeth out of the inside of the chimney. Sounds like a sure way to get gold ashes everywhere, including in your mouth, and also dirty up your tap shoes. Really, it's a win-win. You don't want to get old ashes all over your precious heirloom. That'd be especially difficult to get out of the grooves of the spiral. So the spiral's grooved. Burning the pet treats for warmth? Not in a million years. Think of the poor pets who would go untreated. Releasing the noxious vapor of burning pogs over the land might take a few monsters out, but unfortunately there's also Jude, your dog, Byers, and Jude's other pigeons to consider. Oh, and yeah, your babysitter, if she happens to return right now. Oh! And yourself. You always forget about yourself. Yeah, the other pigeons might be okay. It'd be a really inefficient way to release the energy stored in these batteries. Let's see, you got some really old ashes in here, and a couple of nearly disintegrated hunks of charred wood. So yeah, it's pretty bland. But not really working with the best ingredients here. This would be a good escape route for buyers, if it weren't for the monsters with wings. Look, your pa's love of globes knows no bounds, but you don't recognize any of the continents on this one. You'd have a better idea of what you were looking at if you could read these scribbly labels, that you can make sense of as the X mark. Could it indicate treasure? Does X mark the spot? Indeed. No need to step gingerly or anything, just grab the key. Probably easier to just grab it. 2 keys, 1 destiny, or whatever. Get the key. The real treat is, you got the attic key. Get it! Who cares about these? It's the attic key, finally! You don't know what's powering those lasers. You don't care. Get the key. The real magic was inside you all along, just like the real attic key was inside this globe. Get the key. Go get it, buyers! Ah, no dice. I can walk out. Fine, I'll take the key. You did it! The attic key has been found. You got what you assumed to be the attic key. Got the key. Heading back up to the attic now. Careful, may not be that simple. Over. What do you mean? None of this has been simple. It's been downright convoluted. Noticing hostile elements, grouping serpents, massing. Over. Oh, jeez. We'll try to back you up if possible. Remain alert, sis. Over. Always am, bro. Over and out. So let's do one last scan of this room. You nod to the Alibrihi, acknowledging the silent encouragement he offered you throughout your struggles. Your struggles, which are definitely totally over forever. Everything will always be easy and good now. You couldn't have gotten this without Buyer's help. Thanks, little Buster. Cute little doofus. Thanks for the help, Horace. Couldn't have done it without you, probably. Curry! Get to the attic! You're running out of time! This is a low-tech analog key, and you're a high-tech digital girl. A girl who needs to hurry the heck up and get to the attic pronto. Hey, that's a great idea. You can dump these off in the attic, the place you've been trying to get to this entire time and can now enter. Hooray! Your dog, last you checked, is safe in their doghouse. You need to get to your Joey house, aka the attic, apparently? Wow, the teeth mesh together perfectly. This is... wait, no they don't. They're just 2 keys that look nothing alike. Still, it was worth a try, you guess. Kinda. That's right, get steppin'. You got an attic to be inside of. Put all that nimble grace and graceful nimbleness to work and get inside the attic, quick! Remember when you found this key? Ah, good times, friend. Thank you for the help, dear friend. This is the most helpful deer you've ever met. You wish the meeting were under less horrible circumstances. Maybe he could even be an alive deer friend to help you later in the adventure. That would be fun, to meet a deer that your paw hadn't already killed. Foreshadowing as a literary device. Right! Would it have been that difficult for the key to just be like hanging off the antler or something? It's not like the monsters even have hands, except the ones with all the hands. Okay, alright, you get it. That's not the attic door keyhole. That's a fireplace. They're both holes, but yeah, upstairs, attic stairway, remember? You've been there before. It was not even that long ago. After all you went through to get this key, you're at least going to unlock the attic door before returning it to its hiding place. If you do that at all, it's unlikely that you will, because jeepers creepers, this was a ludicrous hiding place. Your pa's love of globes knows no bounds. Yep, okay. Yet you were kind of expecting to have to fiddle with that clock to get this bad boy. Weird. You just have clockwork on the brain today, you guess. As one does, right? As one totally does, and that's not anything at all that you should worry about. Don't worry about the clocks. You thank the cat for its assistance and quietly apologize for its posthumous participation in this nightmarish spectacle. Both shiny and sharp. That's about where the similarities end, though. You can't imagine a nerd swinging a big key around and talking about destiny. But the katanas... Is the little one a katana? Who cares? They cry out to be handled thus. Like a keyblade. No, it's a wakizashi. And then there's the tanto. Oh, stalwart companion of the Order of Globe and Lasers, thank you for your noble sacrifice. Your terrible maiming in the defense of the Apex Tooth Spiral shall never be forgotten. For as long as this message remains on the screen, possibly a little beyond that, depending on how funny it seems to the player. Wait, what? What were you saying? You mean, thinking? Moving on. The hint function is currently unavailable. Saving this just in case there's extra key lore, because I'm gonna get chased. Yeah, there's no key lore out here, it seems. That's good game design. Oh no! Strife! Oh no! I might die. I may die. Hey, wait! What? No! I've been owned! Jude! Help! Joey took a brutal hit. She's down for the count. You've got to find some way to distract those monsters until she can get back on her feet. Excuse me. No excuse. Reloading. Oh. Double loading the flare gun is extremely dangerous. Only single load it, but sometimes the general must lead from the front, by which you mean fire a single flare from the safety of his treehouse. Oh, for buyers! Hyperion child who pulls the sun, whose wing flaps are the wind, whose infinite beak splinters the skin of monsters and brings tyrants to their ruin. Oh, for buyers! A song for the golden bird who carries us to paradise. The beating heart of God is buyers! Buyers everlasting! Do it for buyers! Hey. Over here. Jake. Delighted to see ya. I am so cool. I'm not even gonna look. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Okay, that works as a distraction. But I have other issues now. Oh, I have even more issues. Hey, hey, ah! Okay, I'm running. I can die here, is why I did this. However, Keylor. What are you doing? Those monsters are coming for you. Hurry, to the attic! Do you want to get eaten alive? Game over. Abscond! Abscond! Joey, come in, please. Report status, Joey. Hello? Hello, it's Jude. Joey, are you okay? Joey, please, over. Yes, I'm safe. I'm in the attic. Just barely made it. Phew, over. Locked in, actually. I dropped the key. Safer in attic than rest of house. Key can be retrieved later. Over. I think you were right. The way they smashed through the living room window and the front door? If I'd stayed in my room, I'd be a goner. Separated us with Vanguard. Destabilized power, probe defenses, finally attempted entry through multiple points of ingress. Basic siege tactics, over. Wow, you were right. I'm impressed. I guess all those conspiracies you're always talking about turned out to be, not fake? Maybe? Too soon to tell for sure, but absolutely certain correct and always have been, over. Anyway, thanks. So I'll just hole up in here for a while, I guess. Are you safe in the treehouse? Should you try calling your friends or something? Didn't want to risk their involvement. Always a gamble engaging soldiers' fortune. But maybe time. Remain secure in location and ignore object under curtain. Over. I'm not gonna ignore it. Obviously. Joey, please, over. What? It's a big mysterious thing under a beguiling, fluttery curtain. I have to at least peek at it. What is it anyway? Data insufficient to determine, over. Well, I'll let you know when I find out. Joey, don't tactic Aries and pin, over. You there? Goten Ordle, it's really bad idea. Over. Jude, can you repeat that? Lots of static. Joey, please. I can't lose you. Please do. Go. Need the portal. For. Did you say portal? It's locked, and you're safely on this side. Thank goodness. The door is locked, and you dropped the key. The key fell through the floorboards down into... You're not sure, actually? The world is in crisis! If only Captain Planet were here. Then the monsters would eat him, and you could escape while they were distracted. Well, it turns out you live in a house that has a hand in a jar in it. You must now carry this knowledge with you forever. High five. You left them hanging long enough. In fact, as you stare at the gross, desiccated hand in the jar, you begin to suspect that the time for you to break open this jar and slap an anonymous dead hand against your own alive hand has, tragically, passed. Unlike cockroaches, pigeons are not able to flatten themselves into the thickness of a quarter and slide through the crack under a closed door. You put this in the attic yourself because it weirded you out that your paw had a lamp shaped like a woman's leg. Very fragile. It must be Italian. Little did you know, he'd soon graduate to lamps shaped like entire women. There's gotta be some salt in this mix, so you sprinkle some across the doorway to keep the monsters out. Not that you really believe in that kind of thing, but you don't really believe in monsters either, and that doesn't seem to be slowing them down any. It's a good thing you had these when you got locked in here. Maybe they'll come in handy. Like, maybe there's, who are you kidding? There's no way these hefty boys are gonna fit anything up here. And even if they did, what good would it do? You gonna scare off the monsters with a battery-powered mummy swinging a sexy lamp leg around? Maybe wearing a bearskin rug and one of those creepy masks while he does it? Maybe he's riding that rocking horse over there too. Okay, that actually sounds pretty awesome. You wish you had some markers and some paper and were an artist so you could draw that. Sure, you may be stuck in here, but at least you'll have these crappy pogs to keep you entertained. It'll be like a vacation, really. The last thing you need to do is make it more obvious to the monsters that there's monster food in here. It's you, by the way. You're the monster food. Nah, this doesn't go to the attic door. Oh, let's see. It's shut pretty tight. Just for the best, of course, so maybe don't go try dancing it open? You can hear the monsters slavering on the other side. You didn't know what the word slavering sounds like. Slavering? Whatever. And apparently, you do. If you went back out there, all the bullet train dodging in the world couldn't save you. Byers, you do realize that this globe is broken, no? He doesn't care. Broken globes or functional globes that are obviously inaccurate are just another dumb thing your paw collects, like poor murdered animals or really distracting lamps. Very distracting lamps. No chance of you tracing the spice route to India on this globe, both because it's inaccurate and because that sounds boring. You would say that there's no chance this globe needs batteries, but hey, you did just solve a laser-based globe puzzle, so who the heck knows, really? You drop a pog in a crack in the globe. It rattles around in there like whatever they put in a can of spray paint to make it rattle. Baby teeth, you've always assumed. Jesus Christ, Joey. You've got a soft spot for injured animals as a junior vet. But a broken globe is not an injured animal. It's just a broken globe. It does not get a pet treat. Weird. This doesn't seem like as dumb an idea as randomly using things on other things usually does. It feels like... Okay, this is crazy, but when you hold this key, the globe doesn't seem so wrong. Somehow, like the key and the globe are connected. You put the key back in your pocket and whoa, everybody, get a load of this dumb globe! You set it wobbling slightly. So slightly, you can barely see it. You'll just have to take your word for it. Bullet can't fix a broken world. A ballet can't fix a broken world, but it does provide a brief illusion that the world has no hold on you. Not the most graceful partner, but he'd probably be great at following your lead. Yeah, and send it toppling to the floor, the glass shattering, the disembodied hand suddenly surging to life as it scuttles towards you, climbs up you, chokes you probably. No thanks. This key feels important in your hand in a way it never did before. Or rather, in a way that it always sort of did, but never strongly enough for you to name the feeling. You know, down to your bones, that it matters. It's just sort of opposite of how you feel about this jar full of hand. You aren't really seeing, like, a mouth. Well, yeah, these are globes of Alternia. You've got more respect for the dead than that, even if the dead is just a gross hand in a jar that gives you the max Ghiblis. It's not a toy, and it doesn't need batteries. You don't know what the technical classification for a hand in a jar is, but if you'd have to guess, it seems like a crime? Ugh, if it comes to that, you'll eat the mummy first. Byers looks at you, and then he looks at the hand, and then he puts his little wing on your hand as if to say, Joey, you do not have to try to use me on literally everything in your house. Nice try, Byers. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, of course. He thinks it's just great. Listen, pipe down, you. You toss a little spice mix at the leg lamp because, hey, you know what? It's been a hell of an evening. You're not necessarily in the mood to explain yourself. Maybe you just wanted to spice up a formerly luminescent leg and not give yourself the third degree about it. Maybe this thing has a battery compartment, but you're not going to be the one to go looking for it. Oh my. What, like you're going to slip a pog in her garter or something? Jeez, get it together, Joey. You're not into it. This, whatever you're doing here, whatever this is, you're having none of it. If this were one of those old-timey lamps from pioneer times, and if the little turny things on the sides of those lamps looked like this key, and if the lamp were missing this key, then you still wouldn't accomplish anything by trying this. This heel looks a little high to be laying down any percussive shoe rhythms, not to mention a little lonely. The shade does look a little like a tutu, but let's face it, you're reaching. Since he got his first best shotgun, this one fell out of favor and now primarily functions as a home to a thick layer of attic dust. Meanwhile, its favored brother is living out a shotgun's daydream in the hands of your paw. You gracefully avoid having ever bought into your paw's stupid gun fervor. Lock and load? There is no chance you're going to pick up this gun, and you certainly aren't going to lock and load anytime soon. It just isn't going to happen. As precariously as it's perched, and as certainly as it's loaded, that seems like a not great idea. So many heirlooms! Although your paw isn't actually dead. Right? You assume? You don't get it. Does he hate animals or what? Why does he have to shoot so many of them? Is he just a jerk? Just a huge jerk? You think your paw may be a huge jerk. No, today's 2011. He's dead. He died 2 years ago. Your paw's sister gave him this gun. And your mother gave you these pogs, sorta. Your family is kind of ridiculous. This stupid thing is almost certainly already loaded, and it doesn't run on batteries. You do not care about this stupid thing. Oh right, it's in 1994, I forgot. So he is alive, but he's with Jade. He's going to catch Jade, who's about to land in about, like, maybe a month or two. You dump a little down the barrel. Maybe this stupid thing won't work the next time he tries to aim it at a nice animal. Byers is too sweet to carry such a crude and merciless weapon. He seems astonished that the shipment apparently did not utilize the unmatchable power of the avian form, which is a little rich considering it took 3 pigeons to send 2 marbles about 30 feet. It's a shipping invoice, Joey. You can't eat it. Although you really should eat something, apparently. Battery not included in shipment. Well, ain't that always just the way? No. Nobody ships pogs anywhere. They just appear out of nowhere. Like dust. Or cockroaches. Nothing on this invoice about pet treats. As far as you can tell, you mean, because it's pretty faded. But you feel pretty confident it didn't say, ship the enormous crate to this jerk's attic, and also, how about those pet treats, eh? And why doesn't this guy raise his dang kids? No, there's nothing about... Huh. Wait. Someone scrawled, the key. Where is that dad-blastic Gadzook's key? I can't use the car without the key. But that couldn't mean... It's crumpled enough without you stomping all over it. With cat-like grace, you totally ignore the shipping invoice. The handwriting is barely legible and there's no return address, leaving you with no more information than you had before you looked at it. No, this really isn't the kind of mystery. He dies outside of time, remember? He's dead before he's alive. It's a whole thing. He and Jade both do the same thing. They loop into the session. The boring kind, where you have to frequently refer to your rigorously maintained collection of shipping invoices in order to make any progress. You hate those. Oh, right, he died when Jade was a baby. Yeah, Tavros shot him. Forgot when that happened. Alright, pick up. No, this really isn't that kind of mystery. The boring kind where you have to frequently refer to your rigorously maintained collection of shipping invoices in order to make any progress. You hate those. Another victim of Jude's zealous crowbarring, no doubt. Any chance he gets to go prying and jimmying, the kid just goes nutso. The straw has too much give. And in these soft shoes, any rusty nails poking out of the bottom of the crate would go right through your foot. The straw's too soft. You'll never get a good rat-a-tat-tappa going on that surface. Weird. You have a strange feeling these are related somehow? Or that they once were? It's a hard thought to pin down, and as soon as you focus on it, it's gone. Like a dream upon waking. Yeah, let's see. Pet treats for food? Check. Old straw for bedding? Check. You've got everything you need to begin your awful new life as the person who lives alone in this attic forever. You've even got masks and stuff for when you get really crazy after a couple of years pass. Maybe you can mail them back to... Look, it's time you admit you picked up these pogs out of your own free will and you're only stuck with them because it'd be mean to throw them out. You can just go back to dunking on them and by proxy your brother after this, but just this once you can admit that you saddled yourself with this. Whatever was in here, this would be way too puny to power it. Maybe you could take a nap in the straw. But if the monsters bust down the attic door, you'd rather not be all tuckered out and ready for the chomping like some kind of kid cuisine featuring an actual kid. You hate kid cuisine. Wait, what were you thinking about? Oh yeah, straw naps. No. Byers nestles down into the warm straw, the picture of contentment and safety. Oh, beg pardon, Snuggles O' Snoozington. You were under the impression that this was a team adventure and not the late shift at the nap factory? What a good bird. I love that baby. Okay, so what do we got here? We got some weird crap. Maybe all this stupid crap is basically the same. So we got weird crap. We got masks. We got more masks. Oh, more of his guns. These are antiques and would probably fetch a tidy sum at auction. But you think the only real perk to their antiquity is it probably means it's been ages since they were used to murder anything furry and precious. As the ballerina yearns to escape the prison of gravity, so too do these guns yearn not to be a Nanette and to be shooting friendly animals. Tough luck, jerks. Sounds like a great way to send a net full of definitely loaded guns tumbling towards you, Joey. Wait, is this directly above my room? The big man has the ball. Your mother left you a beautiful key for some reason. That for some reason is tingling in your hand. Your pa left you a net full of guns. He also just left you. Period. Because he's such a great dad, and he isn't a piece of shit. Aha, he's not here and rarely is. These are basically the opposite of pet treats. Pet treats are for making animals happy, and these are for, well, making animals into meat. This is still the first best shotgun I've interacted with that, but I haven't interacted with these. Some very old pigeon cages. You'd suggest that they be thrown out, but old cages definitely fits with the aesthetic up here. Alright, so that appears to be what we can... Why does he love globes so much? Maybe they remind him of adventure. All the little abstract geological features, the jagged borders of exotic nations, the tiny bumps representing mountains. Unfortunately, whenever you look at globes in school or whatever, they just remind you of him. In the cold calculus of capitalism, the value of these antique guns or these pretty new pogs is merely a function of whatever someone will pay for them. When that someone is you, their value is pretty much nil. You don't use guns. These are definitely loaded, though. Your pa does not leave unloaded guns lying around. Or hanging precariously in decaying nets, either. Jeez, this is right over your room! Only laser guns from the future use batteries. Those are slightly less stupid than regular guns because they're not real. Actually, yeah, if you dump a little spice mix down the barrel and it ruins the gun somehow, you'll have to just use one of his other dozens of guns, I guess. Sweet precious buyers shouldn't be anywhere near those things, when you think about how many kind animal friends they've probably blasted. What's his problem? Your pa, you mean, not buyers. He doesn't have a problem, as far as you can tell. Disguising your identity and impairing your vision wouldn't really help matters much. You're pretty sure the monsters are going to eat anybody they meet. Disguising your identity and impairing your... Oh, that's the same thing? Okay. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. We can do this. You're graceful, but bounding across a pile of dusty old junk really doesn't grab you as a fun time. It would probably for the best if you stomped all this old junk to smithereens, but who knows? There might be some priceless cultural artifact your pa plundered from some old temple buried under all the baby toys and Christmas lights and... Oh yeah, guns! No, not now, when you need it most. Wait, what? You keep them close for now. Just on the off chance that one monster busts down the door. But depending on how long you're stuck up here, you may end up just dumping all your hard-earned, or your hard-gathered doodads and trinkets into this loose heap of yesterday's whatever. You have a feeling that a dusty pile of junk in the attic is the eventual fate of every pog in existence. Jude, on the other hand, says they'll eventually become the currency of the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Could go either way, you guess. Probably plenty of stuff in this pile of weird old stuff needs batteries, but if any of it were any good, it wouldn't be in the attic. You know, you don't have an infinite supply of this spice mix. Using it on every vague pile of crap you come across isn't really the most disciplined approach. Although, it's not like you're going anywhere. You sprinkle some. Oh, no. He gets himself nestled down all cozy back there, and it's going to be you climbing over a bunch of lanterns and sexy leg lamps and stupid globes and probably some guns and sexy leg lamps and just stay put, buyers, okay? Your ballet company of one is a little small to perform a mask, but you suppose it all depends on how long you're stuck up here. You don't want to send all the creepy masks clattering across the floor. Not while you're still hiding from monsters, at least. Otherwise, it'd be your heart's fondest desire. The heirloom. You get a feeling that it likes masks? You don't know what to make of that. You don't know what to make of any of that. Any part of that sentence. You put the key back in your pocket where it doesn't want to go. Shut up. Just, okay, you feel like the other end of the room is where you should go. With the key. This about covers it for food and entertainment in the attic. Hopefully you won't be stuck up here for too long. You could put pogs in the eyes. That would actually be pretty creepy. Might even scare off the monsters. Meh. Maybe if you could rapidly cycle the pogs somehow. It would look pretty cool, I bet. Almost like Lord English, you know? That'd be real cool. Little Halloween mask. Masks aren't powered by batteries. They're powered by your need to see the face perched on top of a human body as a human face. That's why they're creepy. Because they're not human. They're not anything. And the person wearing one could be anybody. They're pretty dusty already. Buyers could try to wear one of these masks, but you have a feeling it wouldn't be very convincing. Things have gotten pretty dark, but cage dancing, Joey? Not that there's any wrong with it, of course. You guess? You're not sure how you're supposed to feel about women dancing in cages. Is it girl power, or am I just gay? Or not. It's sometimes just so hard to know what is or isn't girl power. Or gay. You might just be gay, Joey. That'd make them crash to the floor, which might do some damage. You keep that plan in reserve just in case the monsters break down the door. If all this thing unlocked was some empty cages in the attic... Well, not that your life has any obligation to be entertaining or to deliver some kind of payoff on the narrative expectations it raises, but it would be really anticlimactic. Oh my, you can put me in a cage anytime you like. From iron cages to special extra nice treats. Pets have come a long way in this household over the years, except for all the ones that got murdered and taxidermied by your stupid paw. They're avian captives long freed from their bars, and most likely from the cage of their own flesh. The cages were given new life as stupid joy tales. As stupid toy jails. I just completely misspoke that. I'm gay. Look at them gently swaying in the eerie wind. They don't need your batteries. They don't need anything. They are, despite their obsolescence, some of the most utterly content things you have ever seen. They're pretty far out of your reach. If you threw some spice mix up there, perhaps a single grain might reach. One might expect that after all the fracas he's been through, this little guy would be eager to return to the safety of a cage. But he's reluctant to leave your hand. Perhaps you two have bonded? Is the true cage friendship? Oh, wait, no. There's some old poop in there. Weird. Most of these globes don't even have a Russia on them. Or a France. Or any of the other ballet places. They'd probably scatter all over the place, and you don't think you'd want to attract any attention right now with a globe-based cacophony. Unfortunately, you can't find any place on these old globes for a key. You're glad there isn't a giant keyhole on the surface of the actual planet, though. It would be a horrible thing to fall into. You toss a pet treat amongst the pile of globes. They don't fight over it. They're very well-trained globes. If these were really old globes, they'd be flat. They'd look like a bunch of giant pogs. You shudder at the thought. These aren't like the fancy globe and pause study you assume. They don't need batteries or lasers or anything like that. Or, wait. Are these just a bunch of failed prototypes? Is your attic full of busted globes because your stupid paw needed to build a globe-based puzzle to keep the attic locked? Nah, you're not really in the mood for international cuisine. That one was pretty bad. You guess you brought it on yourself, though, trying to use those completely unrelated things together for no better reason than to see what would happen. Byers rustles in and out among the wreckage of the broken worlds. It is disconcertingly adorable. Can you imagine just a bird, like, walking around being fucking Godzilla? It sounds amazing. Alright, so these are the same ones. And there's no music. There's no music at all. The hint function is currently unavailable. Byers. Investigate weird curtain. The pigeon slips under the drape. After a moment, you hear the terrifying sound of pigeon snores. You reach under and retrieve him. As much as this thing is whipping around with such a pronounced and steady rustling, you're likely to get that spice mix blown back right into your face. Seems like it's already doing fine on wind energy. But really, where the heck is that wind coming from? You toss a pog toward the thing, but whatever wind is blowing that drape catches the pog in the air and carries it off to... Well, if you're being honest, you stop paying that close attention to what happens to pogs after you throw them at things. Whatever's under the drape, something tells you it is hungry. That's not quite the right word, but expectant? Demanding? Incipient. Like if a mystery could pound its fist and demand to be solved. Perhaps a clawed fist on a picture book. Because one Jade Harley is saying the words, Detective Shucksbuster, Yif Yif. Who knows? That's the feeling being whispered to your whole body, down to the bone. Jeez, you can barely hold on to the key. It's like it's pulling you forward, closer to whatever's on the other side of this drape. As you dance, you resolve to ignore this mysterious, alluring drape, this beguiling and bewitching cascade of velvet and mysteries. Mysteries that you have come to realize as you continue to dance, and to ignore this drape and the object it covers may be more menacing and monstrous than you knew. Is the object beneath this drape, which you are still ignoring with a fierce and focused intensity on your dancing, the opening note of a sonata in a minor key, or a key that tilts the tumblers, locking away the secrets in a young girl's head, or rather, in her hand? You have no idea, since you're obviously ignoring this thing forever. You dance, and the drape, whipped mysteriously into wind of unknown origin. Is it your partner, complementing your movements, or the curtain, restless, ravenous to rise? And if it is the curtain, onto what strange stage are you to traipse? You hear the music in your head. You feel the steps calling your feet to take them. And you know the curtain must soon rise, and you rise with it to occasions or debates yet unbidden and unabated. You have a feeling it's going to be a hell of a show. Look, you can't avoid noticing the drape rustling around, although you really wish you could. Better see what's under there now, though, before it gets the drop on you. Yeah, right? Thank you, weird curtain. It's Balap time. The point. Do you see that little 13 there at the top? That's a clock, isn't it? There's a 13 on this clock. An elegant turn, but not the turn that'll make this thing do whatever it's supposed to do. This is the first point, even. The machine remains unmoved. Tap dancing is not the answer. This time. Ah, right. Weird. Why do you feel like you already know that this thing will make music? Maybe it's like a really complicated organ, almost a tube or a serpent, maybe a pipe organ. And maybe you saw it in a book somewhere with someone's portrait by it. None of that seems right. What the heck is it? Parts of that thing look rickety, but somehow you think it'll stand up to you tap dancing at it. You'd need something a little stronger to than just your shoes to break. You'd need something stronger, a little stronger than just your shoes for your steps to break this thing. Wow, this sentence got a little mangled. You hold Byers in front of the impressive piece of machinery. He is plainly mystified. Oh, you have no idea what this is. You don't know where it is, where it's from, or how long it's been here. Did Jude know about this? Is that why he really sent you to the attic? No, that doesn't make any sense. Did your pa know? It looks kind of different from the stuff he usually dumps off here. Feels different, in your mind at least. Wait, what? You're having trouble thinking clearly. Trouble keeping your train of thought. How long have you been standing here? You don't know how to operate this thing, except of course to put a key in it and turn it. That seems like the obvious thing, doesn't it? Like the most obvious and necessary thing you've ever known, and we're always going to do and have always known, and do it. Do it. Do it now. 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 The key. Do it. Do it. Open the door. The keyhole! It calls out to your mind. Wait, What? You... Key! Picture your heirloom. Key! Get it. Use it! Start it. Now. Now. Now! Key! Key. You feel like you should somehow. Like you were always going to. It's a difficult sensation to describe even to yourself. But what goes in there? He is plainly mystified. You place Fires next to the keyhole. He gets that look in his eye. The look a watchmaker gets when presented with a broken pocket watch. Is Byers God? The look a surgeon gets when opening up a broken person. The practiced evaluation of a familiar problem. Without hesitation, and with incomparable confidence, the pigeon jams his beak right into the keyhole and gets stuck. You wiggle it free. Lousy goddamn stupid pigeon. It appears to compel living objects to jam themselves into the keyhole. It looks pretty clanky and rusty. Dumping a bunch of gritty spice on it probably won't help it do what it's intended to do, which is, This feels important. Maybe the most important thing you've ever seen. You don't think you should waste it by dumping it all over this weird machine. The spice is the most important thing? I see. This doesn't look like it needs batteries. More like it's waiting for something else. Hold on. Waiting? A weird machine sitting in your attic can't wait, right? Right? Something goes in there, yeah. But you don't think it's batteries. No. This is important. Keep that garbage away from the thing. You keep that garbage away from it. Ugh. You keep having weird intrusive thoughts about this machine and you're not sure why, but you are sure you don't like it. Except the pogs are garbage stuff. That was definitely all you. That was all you and not anyone else. Oh yeah, definitely. Your brother's pogs, the crappy cardboard discs with cartoon characters on them, the things that didn't exist until a few years ago, are the secret answer to activating this enormous clockwork snake machine that's been in your attic forever. Puzzle solved, adventure over. Those things on the sides don't look like pets. Well, not good ones anyway. They do look like they might be hungry. If you were going to feed this thing, wouldn't you feed the mouths on the side? Although you don't really want to get anywhere near those. Did it just call the keyhole a mouth? It called the keyhole a mouth. It said the mouths on the side with respect to that. Okay. Yes. Definitely. Yes. Geez. Wow. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You want to do that. Just, yeah. The keyhole. Do it. Do it. You feel like you have to. Do it. Not 24 hours. Where we're going, we won't need mugs. Hiveswap. Goodbye, Joey. Good luck. Okay. So this looks normal. Is that blood? That's definitely a lot of blood. There's blood. I'm gonna call it here because that's there's just a whole lot going on here. Oh, there's a lot going on here. Okay. But yeah. Oh. It's lovely to see you in my neighborhood. But I believe you have other demands on your time at the moment, as I always have on mine. Indeed. Alright. So I'm gonna save here. And now we're on Alternia. Alright, so thank you for coming to the stream.